Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We were talking about Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte could become the next Manchester United manager should, of course, the United board pull the trigger on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, of course, Solskjaer's job is currently very unstable, and well, if things aren't to improve anytime soon, then he very well could be out of the door at Old Trafford going forward. And Antonio Conte's name is a name that has been floated around as being Solskjaer's successor, and this genuinely does intrigue me. So I thought, why not talk about it because of that level of intrigue. Now, before we go any further, I would like to remind you to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. But for now, let's go back talking about Antonio Conte possibly becoming the next Manchester United manager after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, of course, the only reason why this would intrigue me is because I quite like Antonio Conte. I quite like him as a manager. I, like a lot of rival and maybe even some neutral fans, obviously want Ole to stay at United. Ole's at the wheel, all of that stuff. You know, we want him to stay at United as manager for as long as possible because, like I said, we don't see United as a threat until he is gone and replaced with a decent manager. And of course, Conte does represent that decent manager. We've talked about Solskjaer a lot already this campaign, even in the early stages of the season, as so far this season isn't going as planned for United and United fans because they were expecting something more this season. They were expecting more of a title challenge this season than what they've got, and already, you know, it may be early days still, but the table is starting to take shape at this stage, and of course United aren't to the level of the Cities, Chelseas and Liverpools of this league. Pressure has been growing on the Norwegian for many weeks now, and of course that escalated to a whole new level this past weekend after United's very embarrassing and very humiliating 5-0 defeat to Liverpool, which, as you know, I absolutely enjoyed and loved every single second of. Since then, of course, though, there has been plenty of speculation that Solskjaer could lose his job, and there have been a few names to be thrown around as to who may be the successor to him, obviously, should the United board pull the trigger. And one name to stick out is one Antonio Conte, of course, a world-class, high-profile manager who's said to be very interested in taking the job. Reportedly, representatives of the Italian have been very vocal this week. People from inside the camp of Antonio Conte, very vocal this week on Conte's behalf in regards to his adoration and interest in becoming the next United manager, but would obviously wait and see how the club act on the current managerial situation surrounding Solskjaer, of course. Other reports have suggested that United may have already lit the fuse in terms of talks and beginnings talks with Conte. Some have said that they have made unofficial inquiries into him, and just in case they go on to sack Solskjaer, of course. But of course, there is nothing concrete or official as of the time of recording. Important I state that. Nothing concrete as of right now. But like I say, this news does intrigue me. It does intrigue me because of who's involved. United, obviously, a rival. Conte, a manager who I quite like. And okay, I'm not a United fan, but let's just say I was. Thank God I'm not. But let's just say that I was a United fan. If I was to choose the next manager after Solskjaer, my personal preference would be a Zinedine Zidane, who is another name that has been linked with the job, by the way, and is added to the list of candidates to succeed Solskjaer. But again, there's nothing concrete as of yet. And that's nothing against Conte. Like I say, I do like Conte. Both are top quality managers, but I think Conte, he is world class. He pretty much, you name the competition as a manager, he's pretty much won it, unless you count the Champions League, but he did obviously win it during his playing days, of course. And he's proven time and time again that he can walk in on any squad and he can elevate their level, and success almost instantly follows upon his arrival. It happened with Chelsea, and it happened, of course, more recently in Serie A with Inter Milan. But I just think that Zidane would suit United a little more in terms of a more attacking playing style. I think he just suits the club more in terms of his personality, and I think that he would suit the club more in terms of he knows some of the key players in that United squad, the likes of Rafael Varane and Cristiano Ronaldo that he's worked with before. And I think with that French kind of connection, maybe we can finally unlock the real potential of one Paul Pogba. But as I say, Conte does appear to be the more genuine favourite for this job, should of course the United board pull the trigger. And if they do, and they do bring the Italian in, then he can certainly elevate the level of this club. There's no doubt about it. This squad can be elevated because of Antonio Conte. It's a massive upgrade from what they currently have right now. You don't need me to tell you that. And it's clear and obvious that Conte would be a good fit for United in terms of man management style. With the squad that he would inherit, he would elevate this squad to a new level, better than what they are currently at, or what many people perceive them to be. From the below average players of the squad to, of course, the top quality players of the squad. Remember, this is a guy who made the likes of Victor Moses and Marcos Alonso the best wing-backs in the Premier League for a season. He elevates players and takes them to new heights regardless of who they are. Yes, as mentioned, his style of play may be a little bit more defensive, but tactically his mind is still sharp and he knows what he's doing. The coaching and guidance he can offer could be very, very big, huge and beneficial, especially to the younger players of this United squad. In defence, he can obviously make them a lot stronger. In midfield, he can make them more resolute. And in attack, I mean, the United attack is already strong anyway, but with a more tactical approach, with his coaching and his guidance and so on and so forth, he can elevate the level of this attack to something even more serious. Again, you look back at his days at Chelsea as the blueprint and as an example of what could be at United. For that title-winning season, he made the likes of Cesc Fabregas, Eden Hazard and Diego Costa have had a fantastic season in front of goal in the Chelsea attack for that campaign. Now imagine that going forward with the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford. He definitely can make this United squad better. Man management and tactics are a huge positive for the Italian, but he would also bring with him a strong level of both discipline and implement a structure and guidance within this squad. Something that we often criticise Solskjaer for not implementing within this squad at times. He can definitely put that and ingrain that and input that into this club. He's a very no-nonsense manager, and with a club like this, with the squad they have, they are in need of everything that I've talked about so far. Man management, tactical style of play, tactics as a whole, the coaching, the guidance, the leadership, the discipline, everything that I've talked about are things that United definitely need going forward. Conte can definitely implement that within this squad, and you know, it may not be a long run thing, but it will definitely benefit United in my opinion. Look, overall I think it's safe to say that this will be a very good managerial appointment. If I'm being honest and if I'm being neutral, I personally see Conte as being a very good managerial appointment for United going forward. On paper, this should work and be successful to some degree, whereas who knows how it will actually work in reality and on the pitch. But if this is to go ahead and everything is to fall in place as we're expecting it to, or as we think it should, you know, Conte does become the next United manager, Solskjaer gets the sack, blah, blah, blah. It definitely won't be for the long term. Whilst the allure of Manchester United is of course still strong, and managers will look at the job and think, this is my big opportunity that awaits me. I see this as being a chance to be the man to bring United back to the glory days of winning league titles and winning trophies and so on and so forth. Conte will of course be no exception to that. He will still have that same thought process. I just think in the end the United board and Conte won't see eye to eye on many things, and I think that with both seemingly being very stubborn in their approach to things, it could end very bitterly, this relationship. And if it does, it might actually work out beneficial for the long term, because I think that this will expose the Glazers, the Man United hierarchy and the Man United boardroom more and more. Everything off the pitch would be even more exposed, and I think that could heap some serious pressure and more pressure on to them kind of important people at United, shall we say, in regards to how the fans see them. Conte's resilience and stubbornness has already seen him walk out on jobs at the likes of Chelsea and Inter Milan, having clashed with the hierarchies and the ownerships of both them clubs. And if he's to clash at them clubs, I don't really see the Glazers and Manchester United being any different. I don't see the Conte Glazers relationship being a match made in heaven, so to speak, and that is why I can only see more clashes between manager and hierarchy going forward. And if that is to happen, you've got to think that of course they are under increasingly pressure from the fans anyway, but that should only escalate things, you'd imagine, between fans and owners, and fans wanting the owners out of their club, and fair play to them if that obviously is to increase. He's definitely not a yes man. Conte is not a yes man, and let's face it, that was the one thing Solskjaer had going for him. He was a yes man. When things got tough for the Glazers, he was their shield at the club, because let's face it, this was his dream job. This was his dream job. He ain't giving it up willingly. He was the yes man. He wasn't going to cause a fuss. He wasn't going to cause a rift in the club just for a few things. He was basically going to be the Glazers' yes man, and that is what they loved about him, and are loving about him, should I say. Conte will be the exact opposite, but at least he has the potential of short-term success at the club more than most managers out there right now. And maybe short-term success, regardless of how the story will end, is what the owners are looking for right now. But of course, as I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys make of the Antonio Conte to Manchester United rumours? Should, of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be fired? Do you want to see Solskjaer get fired? Do you want to see him stick around? Do you want Conte as manager? Or do you want someone else as manager? Maybe it's Zinedine Zidane, like what I said. Or maybe there's someone else, like an Erik ten Hag or Luis Enrique, or whoever it may be, as to who may become the next Manchester United manager should the United board pull the trigger on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section on this particular topic, because I'm sure it will all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and have be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see you this week all again soon in another video.